Most traders lose not because they're dumb, but they simply can't follow the same set of rules on a consistent basis. This one candle model removes all of the variables, just one candle, one time frame, and 5 trading minutes a day. And keep in mind, this system has absolutely zero discretion, just a set of mechanical rules that will allow you to apply this to your trading to become instantly profitable. And the truth is, one candle is all you need. And before we dive into the system, I do want to show you guys, I have back tested this to absolute oblivion, collecting over 1,000 trades for the system, even denoting all these sessions and entry times. And as you guys can see, I'm even experimenting with multiple entry types. And what you guys are going to see in this video is the most profitable variation of all of this data. And keep in mind, all of this data is from Euro USD. And some of you guys might be wondering, is this one candle all I really need to be consistently profitable in the markets? And the truth is, you don't need any more concepts or indicators. You simply need fewer decisions. Imagine how draining it is to show up to the charts every day and have to follow your trading plan simply on discretion. What the best traders are doing is collecting the data for a system like a mad scientist and simply forming a simple set of rules so they can execute their trading plan every day. And keep in mind, when I built these one candle models, I was working over 10 hours a day as a beach boy, and I really had no time to stare at charts, simply waiting for an entry. So I decided the best way to trade was with one candle for the same time for only 5 to 10 minutes a day. So of course, we only need one candle, and in this case, we need to wait for the daily timeframes candle to close. And that is going to be at 5 p.m. for Euro USD, and that is simply going to be in the Eastern time zone. And now that we have our one candle here, we need to highlight the candle with these given fib ranges here. For the case of buys, we need the 1 level for our daily high, our 1.3 for our take profit, and our 0.8 level for our stop loss. And of course, for sells, it's the same but inverse, as we're going to need our 0 level for the daily low, which is going to be our entry, and the 0.2 for our stop loss, followed by the negative 0.3 for take profit. And of course, your long position will look like this in the case of buys, and your sell position will look like this in the case of sells. And all we're simply doing is letting price open, allowing it to either hit our buy position or our sell position at the lows. And as soon as you place your entry at the daily close here, there is nothing else left for you to do. You just have to make sure you're trading within the correct hours, which I'll go over in a second here. But you're simply placing your buy and sell position. And your job after this is to not touch the charts at all. You can simply go back to work or enjoy your day or do whatever you please. And that is the power of these one candle models, which, by the way, if you guys already haven't, I have a free PDF going over all the profitable one candle systems I have developed myself. It is completely free, link is in the description. And with the long and sell position here, it is going to be a profit of 1.5R. And another important rule is if there's no entry by the next candle, we are closing our positions. So if we get through all the next candle's data and there's simply no entry at the buy or the sell, we are closing the position and waiting for the next daily close. And of course, like mentioned earlier, we do want to avoid certain hours, and that is going to be 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. EST. And of course, 12 p.m. is going to be the dead half of New York session, where all the institutions are taking lunch breaks or they're pretty much done with their trading for the day, all the way up until Asian session. And of course, as we know, the liquidity in Asia is pretty low, so we want to be avoiding the dead half of New York and Asian session. And before we get into the back testing, I do want to break down the stats for this one candle strategy. So to put in perspective, for every $1,000 you are risking, you are earning about $162 per trade on average. So for example, one trade you might profit $1,500, the next trade you might lose. You guys get the idea. It averages out to about $162 profit per trade when you're risking $1,000, which, keep in mind, your account will scale infinitely. So once you start risking $10,000 per trade, you are now earning over $1,600 per trade. And if you ask me, that's not too bad for just showing up for 5 minutes a day and clicking a few buttons. But in total, this system has about a 46.5% win rate at 1.5R, which totals to about a 0.16R expectancy per trade, which again correlates to this profit factor here. And now that we have our chart up on Euro USD and we have our daily candle close, we're going to head down to the lower time frame just so we can observe price action and we can make sure we're catching trades within our trading hours. So obviously we're going to let this range close out, and on screen, as you guys can see here, I have these parallel lines indicating the current day's candle, followed by these next set of parallel lines that indicates the next day's range. So this way, all of the daily range price action is denoted within these ranges, and we can simply observe price and see price trades within our trading hours, which in this case is denoted by this purple box here, which is going to indicate our hours from 2 a.m. to 12 p.m. EST. So now that we have our range here on the lower time frame, we're going to grab our fib tool and measure the range from high to low. And now that we have our range, we're simply going to let price play out and see if we can catch any trades within our hours. Okay, we have entered our trading hours and we have an immediate entry there. So that's going to be a long position at the open there at the 1 level, aka the previous day's high, and then followed by a take profit of 1.5R. And of course, we're going to see the result for this trade in a second here. And as you guys can see, we hit our profit level at 1.3. So as always, we're going to delete this, and on our trade journal, we're going to document a 1.5 RR. And throughout this video, we're going to keep track of all the results. So at the end of the video, we can add everything up, observe the win rates, see if the sample size performed at the true win rate of the given system. And that way you guys can see how the expectancy plays out over time. And definitely feel free to backtest this by yourself. I'll go ahead and pin the indicator I'm using here in the comments so you guys can go in the lower time frames and set up your sessions and trade this system as you guys are seeing in this video. But of course, we're going to need to let this range finish out before we measure our next day's range. Okay, we have our next day's range, so we're going to go ahead and adjust our fib levels at the daily high, followed by the daily low, which is going to be at that level right here. And okay, so as you guys can see, we breached the high. So at this point, the high is an invalid level to trade. We are only looking to trade sells as liquidity has not been breached at this level. And keep in mind, the whole reason why we're targeting either the lows or the highs is because that is where liquidity is resting in the markets, followed by trading in the most volatile sessions. We are able to catch those quick moves to our take profits. And of course, I had the bias beforehand, but when I'm testing, I remove all confirmation bias. I collect all of the data, then I simply filter out my data tickers at the end. And of course, the data confirm my bias, as we don't want to be trading within the dead hours of the market. Hence why it's super important to make sure you are trading within these hours. And of course, we enter our trading hours here and we do end up fulfilling the bias, but of course, our rule state, we do not want to take any more trades at this point. So we're going to go ahead and let this range close out. And now that we have our next daily levels, I'm going to go ahead and adjust our fib at the daily high and the daily low. And again, we have a breach of the high here, so we're not going to be taking any trades at the high. And no trade scenario for the day. So we'll continue outlining our levels as such at the daily highs and lows. Okay, we have entered our trading hours and it looks like we're approaching this high here. In fact, this candle just wicked the high. So that's going to be a long position here at the open, followed by stop loss at the 0.8 level and a take profit at the 1.3 level. So we'll adjust our level there, make sure the trade is accurately placed at 1.5. Okay, so as you guys can see, it wicked our take profit there. And just to confirm on the lower time frames, when you're back testing, you definitely want to observe your entries here. Oftentimes you can see an entry followed by a wick below here. So on the lower time frames, you just have to confirm that it was a clean entry. In this case, on the 30-minute time frame, we can see price tapped our entry and there was no rejection there. So we're definitely good on this trade. And what we'll do now is get rid of this on screen and document another plus 1.5 RR. Come back to trading view and we'll continue playing price. All right, so we have our next day's range. We'll outline the fib from high to low. Perfect. Okay, we're about to enter our trading hours and it looks like there's going to be no entry for the day. No worries at all. Simply just sit on your hands for that day and come back the next day. So now we'll let the next range play out. We have entered our trading hours, and as you guys can see there, we had this one candle here grabbing our entry here and instantly stopping us out. So without even needing to place the long position there, we can already denote this as a -1. So we'll come to our journal here and document the -1 RR, and we'll simply continue playing out price. Okay, we have reached our next daily range, so we'll go ahead and outline the fib levels from high to low. We have entered our trading hours and it looks like we're approaching the highs, so let's see if we get an entry here. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a no entry for the day. It's no worries. Again, you're just going to sit on your hands and wait for the next daily range to form. We're going to outline from high to low. And now that we have our range outlined, we simply want to observe price in this next daily range. And as soon as we enter our trading hours, we have the clean entry into our short position here. So we'll place our entry as such. They target at 1.5 R at the -0.3 level. And that hits our take profit there. And let's go ahead and confirm on the lower time frames that we had no stop out, just so we can denote this as a proper win. And as you guys can see, this 0.2 level held here. So we'll come back to the 30-minute. We'll go ahead and get rid of this on screen and document another plus 1.5 RR. And we'll continue our back testing. Outline the fib from high to low. We have entered our trading hours. We have our entry into the buy position up here. And as you guys can see, as soon as we entered the London session, price was magnetized to this high, which again, and why it is crucial to be trading in these hours where we're catching the high liquidity moves, so we can catch those quick moves to our 1.5R profit. But let's go ahead and let the result of this trade reveal itself. And that is going to be a -1R, which is totally fine, totally expected. So we'll get rid of this on screen. Back to our journal, -1RR, and we'll continue playing price. All right, wonderful. So we have our next range outlined. Document it. We'll denote it from high to low. Okay, looks like we're approaching the high. Let's see, get an entry there. Looks like we're a little short. And we finally get our entry into the buy position within our trading hours, so that is always awesome to see. Stop loss at the 0.8, followed by take profit at the 0.3 for about 1.5R. So neither take profit or stop loss was hit within this next daily range, which is no worries at all. We're going to continue to hold this position here. And in fact, we'll just continue to outline the ranges and take any trades that continue to follow these rules. So we'll make sure our fib level is adjusted. And we have entered our trading hours. So we want to see price enter. So we want to see price break the high. And as you can see, we broke the high very efficiently there within our active trading hours and take profit there. So as you guys can see, this was a 1.5R trade, and you guys can see within this 30-minute candle, this was a clean entry. There was no signs of stop outs here. So in this case here, we had two trades that banged at 1.5R. So we'll delete both of these positions, come back to our trade journal, document 1.5R there, and another plus 1.5RR. And as you guys can see so far, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winners and 2 losers. So about 5 for 7. So in total, we had about 7.5R in winners and 2 losers. So about 5.5R within this backtesting session. But again, in your own backtesting, you might find throughout different sample sizes or data sets, results may vary. So that is why you need to collect at least 500 to 1,000 trades, so you can come to a conclusion about the true win rate of the system you're backtesting. And when you're trading mechanically with zero discretion, it's all about math and edge. If your system has a mathematical edge, let's say with over 500 or 1,000 plus trades, you understand that your only job is to execute the system and understand your system has that edge. You don't care if one day you won, you don't care if one day you lost. It's simply about sticking to your rules and understanding the math behind your system. And again, another successful backtesting session as always. And if you guys haven't grabbed my free 1 Candle Playbook down in the description, feel free to do so. And also, if you guys have any questions about the system, leave them down in the comments below. I've also pinned the indicator I use in this video down in the comments. So if you guys want to backtest yourself, feel free to use that. Let me know how the system does for you. But besides that, I'll see you guys in the next video.